The inaugural Enhanced Games has taken place in Las Vegas, an event that allows athletes to use normally banned performance-enhancing drugs. Most of the 42 sprinters, swimmers and weightlifters were doping, while 3 athletes competed clean and won their events. One 50-metre swimmer, who was also wearing an outlawed skin suit, managed to beat the world record. Sally Pearson is an Australian hurdler and Olympic gold medal winner and joins me now. Sally, great to have you on our show tonight. Tell us, what do you understand the premise of these games to be and what are your views on it?
Well, I can only speak on my views, and it's quite intriguing really to watch how this whole event came about and if they think in their eyes that it was successful. So my understanding was that they wanted athletes to be given all the enhancements that they could possibly have, for reference with the drugs and also the super suits as well for the swimming in particular. And after the event had finished, they only had one world record through the whole event. And a lot of the other events, they didn't really come that close to world records. So it was quite interesting. The whole reason for this was to see how fast or how strong these athletes could be when they're fully enhanced with these drugs, with these super suits. So I'm not sure if it was a success for them, but it was certainly an intriguing, I call it, science experiment that they went for, to push the human body to the absolute limit.
And Sally, what do you say to the organisers' claims that all elite athletes are doping anyway and that clean sport is a myth?
Yeah, that's when they say all athletes. Yes, obviously there are some athletes that have been doping or are doping and are being caught. It is quite insulting, really, because the amount of work that I put into being the best athlete in the world and to becoming an Olympic champion was certainly not for one to be mocked at or insulted by. So it is quite interesting when people say that, because you're talking to a lot of clean athletes out there that are working as hard as any other athlete out there and getting those rewards.
Indeed.
With being clean.
Indeed. So tell us, what are some of the ethical issues that a games like this raises? Why do athletes, why are they attracted to compete?
Well, if you saw the prize money that they were getting, first place was $250,000. Like, that is a ridiculous amount of money. There was one athlete there, Ben Proud, who won one of his races, and he said he can set up his whole life from that. So I can see the enticement there for some athletes to, the people that were getting fourth place were getting $50,000, and this is a lot of money. This is more money than a lot of athletes that I know, and me in particular, have never seen that type of money or prize money before in their life, competing clean. So I can see that the enticement that is there for them. One athlete broke the world record. He got $1 million, and that was his second $1 million that he had received from Enhanced Games as well, plus getting the $250,000 for the win. So I can definitely see why athletes want to be doing that, but for me there are certainly lines that I will not cross.
Totally understand. Well, 3 clean athletes also didn't want to cross that line. They competed, won their events. What message do you think this sends out? It's not what organisers had hoped for.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard because there are 3 clean athletes that competed, but they were still supporting the event. And you can understand why. The money, Fred Curley was one of them, who's also serving a ban for whereabouts failures as well. He competed, he won the men's 100 metres, he won $250,000. It is a bit concerning, because is this going to be the new sport, the new high performance sport? Is that going to run alongside the Olympics with athletes that are competing clean? And the ones that are competing clean, they're not seeing anything like the amount of money that these athletes are seeing. These athletes are being rewarded for what they're calling world records, what they're calling some of the best performances that they've seen, but they're doing it with all the enhancements that they can possibly ask for. And then you have alongside of that the Olympics, where traditional athletes are competing enhancement free. and not getting the rewards. So that message that's being sent to that next generation of athletes saying, well, I want to get $250,000. I'll go to the enhanced games and I could even compete clean if I want to, and I'll still get that sort of money. But those clean athletes that are competing in the enhanced games are still supporting the enhanced games.
What are your concerns for the health of athletes going down the path of using performance-enhancing drugs? There are claims also amidst all this event that it's becoming more mainstream.
Well, I can't really speak for if it's becoming more mainstream, but I suppose my concern would be these aren't just health supplements that these athletes are taking. These are chemicals that athletes are putting into their bodies, and I assume that pharmaceutical companies will probably be pocketing a lot of money from being able to advertise through these athletes. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you can imagine the amount of money that is going through these businesses and these companies, all for the profit from the athletes that are competing there, that are injecting themselves and showing the world that, hey, you can do this as well, and you can look like me, and you can perform like me as an elite athlete. And that's just, it's sending the wrong message to mostly a lot of the next generation that are coming through and looking at these athletes as they are heroes and inspiration.
How much support do you think this event has? And do you think it'll continue?
I think a lot of the support would come from the investors who are putting a lot of money into that. But I don't know if it will continue. I hope not, because it does send that wrong message. But again, this is a whole new world that we're living. This is a new event that people have never seen before. So it's something that everyone has to sort of wrap their heads around and try and understand, why are we doing this? What are we doing this for? And do we need to keep doing this? Do we need to show athletes how we can push our bodies by injecting ourselves with some sort of performance-enhancing drugs? So it's a very hard one to tell in this new world of performance. I certainly hope not.
Well, Sally, it's been really insightful talking to you. Thanks so much for joining The World Tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.